Hey everybody, it is Brianna Baker, and this is Marketing with SMA. And we are so excited to have you join us for this episode. So, for this episode, we're going to be discussing things about women in business and how we need to have access to more. And I'm very excited to have with me Sloan. Sloan is actually the owner of Buffalo Ambition Co. And so I want to bring her on the stage now. Hi,
Brianna,
Sloan.
hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for joining. So I want to do something a little different before we get into the logistics. Just to have a little icebreaker. So I actually sent an image, but hopefully I can pull it up. If not, the image actually shows a like waiting to load sign, no Wi-Fi, or low battery. So which one of those annoys you the most?
Okay, so the one that annoys me the most, like the one I get super triggered over, is having no Wi Fi in places where there should be Wi Fi, especially like free Wi Fi. Like when you're traveling and you're at an airport and Wi Fi is not coming through, like, what are we doing? Or like
Like, what is
hotels.
happening?
No, that is not. I paid too much money. Plus, you're delaying all my flights. Like, no, pass.
Right. The least you can do is have the Wi-Fi work, if nothing
Like,
else.
I'm trying to get some work done. Or like coffee shops. I was at a coffee shop this morning, and the Wi-Fi was a little off, and I was like, no, ma'am, I paid $15 for this waffle. You better like this Wi-Fi needs to be popping. Like, what the heck? So yeah,
Right.
that's my trigger. Clearly.
Uh-oh, I felt it. I felt the trigger. I hope that doesn't affect as we go forward. But everybody's Wi-Fi is good, everybody. So let us know in the comments, what is that thing that annoys you? Something not loading, Wi-Fi not being present, or low battery. I know for me, what annoys me most of all is having something not load. Like before we got on, stuff was not trying to load. And I'm like, you better load today. Okay. You're going to open up today, especially as a teacher, when you're trying to do a lesson and the file does not open. Talk about red wire, blue wire. Like something needs to work.
Or when you're like in the middle of a business meeting and you're like, and especially investor meetings, and you're like trying to, put your best foot forward, get your deck up, get your numbers up, and all you see is that little loading sign, especially if you're on a Mac, it's like that symbol of death, and you're like, are you serious? How
Right.
dare you?
How dare you? Okay. So you go listen, as business owners, you know, any one of those signs is like a red flag. That's
Yes.
red flags. But today we're going to be talking about green flags. So we're talking about the things that's going to make us go. Women on the go. So Sloan, go ahead and let everybody know a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Sloan. I go by Sloan the Beast, and it's because I am the CEO and the founder of Buffalo Ambition. It's a legacy brand. I am the host of the Nothing for Granted podcast. And as a funding expert, what I do is I am on a mission to eliminate the gender inequality that exists in the funding space. So how I do this is I provide access to money and opportunity to visionary female founders so that they can maximize their impact and grow their businesses. I'm a homeschooling mom of four, and to give you a little bit more of a personal take, some of my hobbies include skateboarding, most recently rock climbing. I love to travel, and I'm on a mission to read one book a month. So if any of you have any recommendations, we got 6 months left in the year. Bring them on over. I'm open.
Yes, I need those too. Good. Okay, rock climbing. I definitely tried that indoor rock climbing. I
Yeah.
tried it. I'm not ready for the sloping hills and the rocks of this world, but I definitely think that's a great activity too. So in our discussion, we're talking about kingdom female entrepreneurs. We're talking about women on the go, women needing access. So when we talk about that, it also goes with faith, right? You have to have faith that your business is going to flow, that your plans are going to work. But faith without works is dead. That's in the scripture. That's in the verse. But how do you find balance with your faith and your works, not overdoing either one, but flowing?
So at first, I think like most entrepreneurs, and I've been in entrepreneurship for a long time, I kind of struggled with, I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to talk too much about, my relationship with God. People can kind of be resistant to that. But as I started to come into my own, I realized that that is the number one feedback that I receive from people is, oh my God, Sloan, I love how God is just so seamlessly infused in your business. And my response to that always is, well, one, God knows where he took me out of. So how dare I not show up for him and be bold and rebellious in the things and the skills that he's given me? And two, this is his business to begin with. Like, why would I not talk about him? All I am is the administrator and the manager of this business. It's his to push forward. And so really where you start to find that balance is one, knowing your identity, who you are, knowing that if God put this on your heart, it really is with the purpose of expanding the kingdom and reaching the lost. And your skill set is just the driver of all of that. And so for me, I come into business very intentional. I start my day in the word, my workspace. I have a vision board with verses that speak to me, that get me in check. I don't really push prosperity gospel too much. I want verses that speak to me. I want verses that are going to bring me conviction when I need it. When I'm too full of myself, I need something that's going to say, hey, remember why you're doing this and who you're doing it for. Because it's very easy once we start seeing a little bit of money come in, we start getting a little confused. Oh, I'm just that good. Yes, honey, you are that good because of he who lives within you.
Okay, right? I got to flip the hair. He did it.
We got to be honest with ourselves. It's not to say that you cannot be positive about who you are and confident about what you bring to the table. 100% you have to be, because if not, your clients won't be confident in you. But be clear that anything that you have to give to others, it's only because it was given to you first. So you have to really know where you stand. You have to know your identity. And number two, it's really mindset. When you're looking at that balance of, oh, the world thinks one way and I don't want to be seen as like a Christian entrepreneur because that's not all that I am. I want you to really focus on your mindset. I want you to focus on the fact that that vision was given to you by God for a reason. And you need to acknowledge that your mindset always needs to be on point. I'll share with you why that is. I had a situation last year where I was legally attacked by a former peer in the industry. I didn't understand why. Later, I came to understand that there was racial things that went along with it. But at the end, I said, of course, this was going to happen to me. It's living proof that I'm doing God's work and I'm doing it well. Otherwise, why would the enemy be so mad?
Tell it.
He's seeing me as a threat. Here I am saying, well, I'm just a small little business. Nothing that God gives you is small. You need to change your perspective.
Let's start right there. Support big businesses. We love to say support small.
Yes.
It was small, but God is growing it. So we can't keep keeping ourselves there. We have to change our language about our business. I'm going to let you keep going because you flowing, girl.
No. So as soon as I started shifting, like you said, your words, your mindset, really being intentional about where am I putting my energy? Who am I listening to? What am I watching? What am I allowing to take from my energy? Then it was like, wait a minute, I don't have a small business. She sees me as a threat, then I need to see myself as a threat too. Clearly, if the enemy's seeing you for something that you are and you're not, we have a problem. There's a disconnect there.
Yes.
We need to stop being in the space of, well, I'm a Christian, so I need to live modestly. No, I live in overabundance. I don't know about you, but I live
Drop that in the comments. I live in overabundance.
Come on. Why? Why should we as Christians allow ourselves, because we do it to ourselves, allow ourselves to be inferior or diminished or muted by other people who don't yet know truth? We cannot just keep saying, well, somebody else will take care of it. No, that's your job.
Mm-hmm.
Stop thinking you need a pulpit to preach. You're preaching every single day just by the testimony of your life. And
Yes.
being in this space where kingdom entrepreneurship is something that is still growing so much that it's like the more of us start to tap into our power and our authority, the more space we're going to take up from the enemy, the more territory we're going to take back.
Mm-hmm.
Because now God is putting us in strategic areas that we've never really seen before.
Yes.
Live that out. Be excited about it.
Mm-hmm. I am so excited. Like, if you did not get empowered just by Sloan breaking down her testimony, come on, women. It's time to rise up. It's time to rise up in the marketplace. This is a ministry too. Let me say that this is ministry too. You are serving people, whether through your customer service, through your packaging, through your words on your lives and your social media. It is a ministry too. There's purpose in this too. Because sometimes we look for it to look like a certain package, but there's purpose in different packaging.
Yes. I love that you said that because I think too often we get hung up on, oh, well, I don't look like a, Sarah Jakes Roberts. I don't look like a, XYZ big time massive preacher or big time persona. You don't need to look like them. You need to look like you. I come from a space, I was raised in the church, but I got lost. I was in addiction. And so now, Brianna, literally, I will be walking down the street and people will stop me and they'll say, girl. I remember this one instance. She was like, girl, but she didn't say girl. She said another thing.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I don't answer to that.
Right.
Stop acting like you don't remember me. I said, I really don't remember you. And she says, I didn't even recognize you because you look so different. What happened? And I said, God, what an opportunity to testify what occurred there. Something that when somebody sees you at your very, very lowest and can say, I saw you in addiction. I knew the things that you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you now. How are you a mom of 4? How are you running 2 businesses? How are you successful? How are you so happy?
Yes.
Jesus, that is your opportunity. But if I looked like everybody else, how would I have that chance? You got to look like you so that you don't know who you're speaking to.
Mm-mm.
You don't know who God is making you relatable to. And so that's why it's so important. I go back to the same thing. Know your identity. Own it.
Yes. Own who you are. Be happy with the woman in the mirror. MJ told us, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. So when you get yourself straight, when you get the plank out of your own eye, you are going to go out looking better, feeling better, doing better. And that's the thing we want every woman listening to catch. You have the power. You possess the power to run this business in a godlike manner that he is pleased, and you will also be pleased and get some profit. And that's another thing we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about profit too. Now we're not going to leave that out. We're going to walk in purpose, but we also going to get some profit. So, you really broke down an awesome thing, even giving your testimony, which I didn't know, everyone. I didn't know what her background is. That's the thing. When God does a new thing, old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. So I'm looking at Sloan, honey. I don't even know who that lady was before. I'm looking at Sloan of the Buffalo Co. All right. So, in balance, you are clear-headed. You have vision. How do women get to the profit?
So let's start with the fact that the business that you start is never the business that you end up with. I don't know about your evolution, but my evolution in business has been sticky. It's been messy. It's been at times confusing. But the more that I listen to my clients, the more that I work directly with them, the more that I interact with them and see what are really your needs, then you start to fine tune your services. You start to fine tune your messaging. And I have found, for example, I started off as a grant writer I thought I was only going to work with human trafficking organizations and agencies. That's what that's my passion. But as I started to share my story about my struggles in getting business loans, my struggles in getting just investors, especially as a female in a predominantly male dominated industry, that is, we had barbershops at the time and now we have a beauty academy, I would get denied. And I wouldn't understand until one funder actually told me, it's because you're a woman. And so the more I started sharing this, the more women were like, yes, girl, yes, this is exactly my problem. What do I do? How are you getting funding for your business? And so that just kind of evolved. But if I hadn't started at all, that would have never happened. So you have to kind of be fluid with the transition of your business until it just clicks. And that was the case for me. So really listen to your audience. How do you start getting money? How do you start funding this vision that's in your belly that won't let you go? Well, of course, you can try through your savings, you can try through crowdsourcing, you could try through fundraising. And of course, it really just depends on what your business is. But my favorite, of course, way to fund your business is through small business grants. And here's why. Because not only are you getting money, yes, we all love money, but what if there's something better than that? What if that money can come with, for example, mentorships that you wouldn't have otherwise had access to, accelerator programs that you would have never been able to attend, maybe even afford? These grants give you the opportunity to completely transform the way that you run your business so that you have longevity and sustainability, because now you're not running your business the same way that you were when you applied for the grant. Now you have better business acumens. Now you know how to look at your numbers. Now you know how to market yourself. All of the things that they teach you in these mentorships and accelerators. So for me, it's so much more than just, yes, I can get you the access to the money that's out there, but I can get you access to rub shoulders with people that can really transform you as an entrepreneur. Because a true entrepreneur is somebody that can fail today, or burn their business down, and they start something 2 weeks from now. You're like, didn't you just close down your business? That didn't work, but here we go.
Right, I'm back.
That's a real entrepreneur. Someone who knows in their gut, I'm built for this. I'm built to know when this isn't working, and I'm willing to let that go to start something new. Because the story, I love the story of the PayPal founder. She had, I believe it's 19 businesses before PayPal.
Come on now.
Some people, 6 months into their business, if they don't see $2 in their bank account, they would say, I'm not built for this.
It's over.
No. Are you willing to stick it through? Now she's a multi-billionaire.
Hello.
But it took her 19 tries. Are you willing to stick it out? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to pivot? Are you willing to identify where can I be better? And so grants really help you in that aspect where you are now rubbing shoulders with people who can accelerate your growth and shorten your learning curve. So some of the places where you can find these are, of course, your local government. I always say, start with your county, start with your city, start with your state. If you are not tech savvy, make a phone call. Call down to your city hall. Hey, I'm a small business. This is what I do. This is who I impact. This is the problem I serve. I know you have assistance available for small businesses, especially post-COVID. What do you have for me? How can you help me? Now, here's the caveat. You need to be ready.
Right.
So many people I see go after. I just started my business 2 weeks ago. I need money. Okay, you can get pre-seed money, but do you have a financial forecast? Do you have a business plan? Are you a registered business? Do you have your financial documents or just your business documents in order so that when these opportunities are presented to you, you're ready to go? What I have noticed in the difference of applying to nonprofit grants versus small business grants is that the funding cycle for them is very short. We're
Ooh,
talking a month.
wow.
Now, what does that mean for you? That means you need to be prepared. You do not have a month of just sitting around and waiting. If you don't have your documents in order, guess what?
Hmm.
You're probably not going to have them in time. And don't be that person to submit your document at 4:59 when it's due at 5 o'clock day of.
Come on.
Don't do it. Don't do
Right.
it. Give yourself at least 2 days. So start off with your local government. And if you don't know, ask. I'm working on a grant right now for the academy that we're not even eligible for. And now,
Okay.
Brianna, you say, like, why would you do that? Well, because I need to know what I need to know now so that when I apply next year, I'm ready. I need to know.
Yes. That's a good point. We don't go after things because we read the fine print. But there are some people who will actually get you through the door just because you tried,
You
just
just
because
don't
you made
know.
an effort.
And it's not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to submit the application, but this is a very competitive
Hmm.
grant. And so I need to become comfortable with that process so that come next year, it's already there. Everything is already laid out. I know exactly what I need. These workshops I just attended one this morning, 4 a.m. in the morning. Most
What?
people would say, I'm not waking up that early. Well, that's why you're not getting the money. You're not willing to go the extra mile.
Okay, so you telling me I need to get up a little. Okay, okay, I hear you. That was for me. You gotta get up, Bree. That was for me. Nobody else gonna take. That was for me. Get up, Bree. I
I
got it.
want I want to give you everything you need to be successful because it really is that easy. When you step into this and you say, I'm willing to go where most people aren't,
Hmm.
that's when the doors open for you. I see people where they will apply to grants and there'll be a section where it says, submit a video. I hate video. I hate recording myself. I hate my voice. Girl, you
Girl,
better hate your savings going lower.
right? Hello. You gotta choose which one. Which one?
Get uncomfortable. If you don't like video, and I'm telling you, a lot of these small business grants will require some sort of video. Most of them will say, we want to get to know you, we want to see your face, we want to see how do you articulate what you do. Get on Instagram stories every day for a month. By the end of that month, you will be so comfortable speaking to yourself that you're like, oh, I got to do a video, bet, let's get this over with. And that's it.
Right.
You get out of your comfort zone because these grants are competitive and you have to be willing to go where most people won't. So, number one, go through your local government. Number two, make a list of your favorite brands. Believe it or not, major corporations, they have now launched foundations. I mean, there's always been major corporations with foundations for nonprofits, but we are seeing more and more brands and big companies that are now opening sectors for small businesses, especially because small businesses have been so affected by COVID. And so you're seeing now new grants for small businesses. You're seeing now grants for diversity and inclusion and minorities and female founded. Why? Because society is being so vocal about these prejudices that exist. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
they have to respond. So make a list of about 60 to 100 brands or companies that you love and just research what grants are available that I can apply to. If you see that the deadline has passed, who cares? Subscribe to their newsletter. Sometimes, like the FedEx grant, they will open up another cycle just because they got investors and they can do that. So definitely be sure to check your favorite companies, your favorite brands, and then the last one is minority focused groups in your area. So, for example, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Black Business Association, again, in your area. The Chambers of Commerce will definitely have grants for small businesses. Some of them may require that you be a member. Depending on the type of business you have, that may or may not be beneficial, but that's just a judgment call that you're going to have to make.
That's a good point. Somebody that I know is actually going into the Chamber of Commerce, like you said, in the area, and they are basically in like the marketing industry, virtual marketing. And I was just thinking about that myself. Like, should I be a part of Chamber of Commerce? So I do appreciate you sharing. Like, you got to just kind of assess it for yourself. Like, will that benefit you in the long run having that partnership? Because again, every business is a partnership. We have to learn how to look at ourselves as a catch. Like, you want me just as much as I need you. Like, come on, we work together. So if I'm a part of the chamber, I make you look good and vice versa. So anyway, I've been thinking about that myself. So yeah.
I love that you mentioned that because when we had the barbershop, that was something that I really considered. And one question that kept coming up for me was, well, what are you looking to get out of it?
Mm-hmm.
If you are going into the Chamber of Commerce, and we know that this is an investment, at least here in Central Florida, it is an investment. So, am I willing to invest not only money, but my time in creating and forging these relationships long term? Because let's be honest, networking is relationship building. It is that, which is sales. So,
Right.
I I am not, Brianna, I am not a people person. Like in our business, my husband is the one that goes out and does the networking because I'm like, I can't talk to this person. Like her energy is off. She comes off as stupid. Edward, please. So come on, we got to know our weaknesses. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Weaknesses. So we delegated, and my husband's the networker, and he does amazing. But we had to really determine, is this something that's going to fit within our goals? What do we really want to get out of it, and what does the investment look like, not just in terms of money, but in terms of time? And how does that level out? So hopefully that helps you make a more
Yeah.
educated
I'm gonna
decision.
look into it a little bit more because me and my husband have been in the area. We're in Eastern North Carolina, and we've been in the area our whole lives. Like, we just literally moved 30 miles away from our hometown. But our goal is to move to like the capital or a major city, as we like to say. And so, with that being said, I have to put myself out there a little bit more. So, yes, I'm gonna get on my stories. Yes, that's my June goal. Sloan is just she just chastising. But see, God chastens those that he loves. So he sent Sloan to chasten me. So hopefully somebody out there listening is like, you know what? Sloan is right. I need to get in front of the camera a little bit more. I need to get up early because I've been turning over every time I hear my alarm clock. Sloan has just dropped a whole lot that we got to work on. Okay. It's the small things that help us get to the big one. But anyway.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I do want to also just make a note about, well, I don't have a large business. I don't have a ton of money that I'm generating. Am I still eligible for grants? What does that look like? Because I do receive that question a lot. So grants you can apply to, again, each grant is very different. So you want to read. The number one reason people don't get grants, they don't read. So read the eligibility. What does it say? There are grants and funding available for pre-seed. So basically before any revenue is made, when you're just planning it out, there's money available for that. Just like there's money available for people that are making $1 million. It doesn't matter where you are at in your business, there is funding available for you. The number one key that I have found in just my personal journey and working with clients is, how well can you articulate what problem you are solving? I think that sometimes in this space, because we are a for-profit, we think, well, all I do is bake goods. I just make cupcakes. That's it. I'm trying to make money making cupcakes out of my house. Are you though? Or are you making cupcakes for, I don't know, women that are struggling with infertility? And these cupcakes really they bring them joy. They help remind them that there is still good in the world through your packaging. Like whatever that is.
Yes.
Get deep with your business. You do so much more than just baked goods. I don't know who this is for. You do so much more. partner with God and ask him, who am I really speaking to here? What is really the purpose of my business? It can't just be profitability, because my husband and I have this saying, money comes and money goes. If I got nothing tomorrow, I'll be the same as when I got something in my bank account.
That's it.
I know how to make money. What am I worried about? Money is just a tool. So don't get so hung up on the money. Get hung up on the impact. And if you can articulate the impact that you're making, and you can do that in a form that is cohesive, in a form that is, I don't want to say short-winded, but really condensed and impactful.
Yes.
That's what's going to change the game for you.
The elevator pitch.
Yes, the elevator pitch. Because ultimately, what you can do with this, and what some of my former clients have done, is once you know what grants you actually can apply for, that is considered a strategy. So now you have a roadmap of like, okay, I'm going to apply to $1 million worth of grants in the next 12 months. I've had clients that have gone to investors and have said, this is a part of our funding plan. This is our forecasted revenue. These are the grants we plan on applying to. And they have secured major investors with that alone. So it's not just going after the grants, it's knowing, how can I utilize this as a tool to get even more funding all the way around? Let's get creative.
Yes, we do. It's so much out there. And I love how you said, let's get creative, because I myself have had those moments where, well, what's next? What can I do next? And like you said, really zoning in and partnering with God to gain that next level marketing. Like, I know somebody has that company name, Next Level Marketing, but that's what you have to implement in your business. Next level marketing. Who is my target audience? What are we doing, et cetera, because that's going to help build momentum. In order to go to the next level, you got to have some momentum. The momentum comes from your messaging. How are you marketing yourself? And that goes back to your very first point, identity. Do I know who I am? Do I recognize what I bring to the table? Do I own it? Ladies, own it.
You know what I love that you said, Brianna? Marketing, and just knowing how to market yourself and how to market your business, and taking that marketing to the next level. And I know we had touched on this a couple days ago when we first spoke, but I really want to hit this point home for your listeners. And it is the importance of having an online presence. Some people think, well, I don't need a website right now. I don't need an Instagram because I'm just not a social media person. It's not about you, it's about your client. Let's start there. How are you being found? And number two, if you have no online presence, good luck applying to these grants, because they're doing their own research. It's true. They're asking, what is your Facebook page? What is your LinkedIn page? What is your Instagram handle? What does your website look like? This is all a part of a bigger package. They want to see everything put together. And so if your messaging is off, if you have maybe no Facebook, no LinkedIn, no Instagram, do you even exist?
Right.
No, how? So then if you're not online, how are you getting and retaining clients? How are you building a community? And for us, for the Academy, we are very much driven on word of mouth, but we still are really focused. I mean, we just invested in a major social media manager position, because I understand in order for me to secure sponsors, guess where they're going to go first?
Your social media.
Oh, wait, the social media that you don't have because you don't use social media, because, like, no, don't do that to yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice. It's free, honestly.
Right. I mean, seriously. The only thing that costs is ads, and you could get money from that.
Exactly. And that's a growth strategy that you don't even need to begin with.
Exactly. That's right.
You can work up to that. I also wanted to really quickly add, Sloan, what can I use that money for? So just to give you a few ideas of what grant money can be used for, there are unrestricted funds. So what that means is literally you can use the money on anything. Don't use it on buying yourself a new Mercedes, but any business expense.
Right. Let's be clear.
Um, Most recently, I was able to secure a grant for the academy so that we can get our licensing paid. So we don't even have to come out of pocket for that.
That's
Which
good.
is great. I've gotten marketing and advertisement. I've gotten bookkeeping grants. You can use grants on staff, new equipment, software, infrastructure, literally anything that you need for your business. And really knowing what needs do you have in your business will help you on your application as well. That
Mhm.
way you're not saying I need $5,000. Okay, what do you want to use that money? Think
Right.
about your mom. If you were to go to your mom and be like, "Mom, I need $5,000," she's gonna look at you like you're crazy. Like,
Why?
jokes on
First
you.
question, why?
Yes. So think about, what do I need this money for? But really, you can use grant funding for anything that they say you can use your money for, that their money for, because that really is a partnership. So
Yeah.
just wanted to throw that out there. That way, your audience can have more context around how
Mhm.
this business can help them grow.
Yes. Wow. I just got Buffalo Ambition Code right here with Sloan breaking down how we can get our faith and our funding. Come on now. All right here. Faith and funding with Sloan. So, with that being said, Sloan, how can the listeners get more, learn more, even partner with you and become a client?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, Brianna, thank you so much for giving me this platform, this space to reach world-changing females. That is such a passion that I have, and I appreciate you taking the time out to talk with me today. If you listeners want to get a little bit more, if you're like, yes, I need more, I need to talk to you more, you can start by visiting my podcast. It's the Nothing for Granted podcast on any of your favorite platforms. I also have a community page, which will be in the show links. I'm assuming that Brianna will have like all the links down below.
Oh, yeah.
And I host monthly workshops. So those workshops are full with resources and tips to help you elevate your proposals and just know where do you get more funding. And then you can connect with me super casually on Instagram at Sloan the Beast. I post minimalism and homeschool and of course business stuff. And it's just a fun place for us to connect and get to know each other better.
Yes. Well, I have enjoyed Sloan. You guys, thank you so much for joining Marketing with SMA. We'll be back. See you next time.